That's all we have on the global market action. A subdued handover from Wall Street. Asian markets are mixed, but the surge is coming in from China. We pull up the GIFT Nifty as well. That will give you an idea of how our own markets are likely to start off, despite a slightly subdued handover from the globe. But the Asian markets also doing well. But how there you can see a flat start for this is what the implied open is suggesting. But how will all of these overnight cues impact our own markets? We have our research team joining in with how the trade setup is looking like, and Vivek is joining in for exactly that. Vivek, good morning. How's the setup looking like?
Good morning, Harma, as well. Very patchy setup, if you could call it that, given the fact that overnight, like you mentioned, it's been a slightly subdued handover as far as Wall Street is concerned. US markets are down in the range of 0.5 to 0.7% yesterday, retreating a little bit from the all-time high levels. Now, talking about oil prices yesterday jumped a little bit, a little over 1% is what you saw oil prices going higher by. This on the back of the fact that, Chinese stimulus expected to go ahead and aid demand. But talking about Indian markets yesterday, Indian markets ended with cuts. Also remember, Indian markets yesterday saw a very choppy session with low and thin liquidity. Now, talking about what did well, it was the broader end of the market. So, mid-cap index outperformed, managing to end in the green. Which were the pockets that actually saw significant pressure? The first one, of course, was the FMCG pack. A mid-quarter update, a bit of a profit warning coming in from Godrej Consumer in terms of demand weakness, something that spooked the entire FMCG pack amongst the top laggards. Along with that, a lot of pharma companies that had run up, given the fact that they were expecting the CDMO companies to benefit from the Biosecure Act getting passed. That is something that actually didn't go through, and yesterday the entire CDMO basket, names like Syngene, Laurus, Divi's, Newland Labs, all of these stocks significantly fell lower. Another stock that did very well in the session on the back of the reversal of a decision, MapMyIndia or C Inverse System, that is one particular stock that did quite well. Well, Indian markets will take cues from the Chinese market stimulus, etc. that's coming in over there. Asian markets are largely in the green. GIFT Nifty indicating a mild gap up start, but one very important thing to watch out for today will be the fact that there is a new RBI governor at the helm, and markets will be looking in terms of cue as to what exactly will be his direction as far as policy is concerned going forward.
Watch out for a reaction in the currency and the bond markets because of this appointment there. Vivek, thanks a lot for that. Now over to Vamakshi, who would list out the stocks that you need to watch out for. Vamakshi, good morning. What's on your list?
Well, good morning, Hormaz. It's a long list today as well. Bharat Electronics will be in focus. They've bagged orders worth 634 crores since November 8th. And with that, the total order inflow for this current fiscal stands at over 8,800 crores for the company. JSW Steel, the November crude steel production saw an uptick of almost 5% on a year-on-year basis. And the capacity utilization for its India operations stood at nearly 94%. Vodafone Idea approves an issue of preference shares to Vodafone PLC entities up to 1,980 crores. Metropolis Healthcare also on our radar. That is because they've acquired the complete stake in Core Diagnostics for 247 crores, financing this with 55% in cash and 45% through an equity swap. Syngene will also be in focus because sources suggest that Biocon is likely to sell 2% stake of the company via block deals at an indicative price of 825 rupees per share. The block deal size is expected to be somewhere around 660 crores. Bajaj Healthcare also on our radar, and that is because they've entered into a definitive CDMO contract with UK as well as EU-based companies for nearly 15 new APIs. And lastly, let's focus in on IRB Infra. The stock will be in focus because they've reported a total collection of 536 crores in November, and this is an uptick of almost 23% year-on-year.
We keep an eye out on all of these names. Vamakshi, thanks a lot for that. Of course, keep an eye out on the metal names as well, considering the announcements that have come in from China. And lastly, Mangalam joins in with cues from the F&O space. Mangalam, good morning. Range-bound action over the last 2 days. How's the setup looking like here?
Range-bound action, but there is a fair amount of action in the broader markets itself. So if you look at the Nifty yesterday was between two important levels which we'll just talk about. The Nifty Bank was a mild outperformer led by HDFC Bank, and the mid-cap index ended about 0.5% higher. If you look at indices in the last 1 month, the Nifty is up around 2%. The Nifty Bank has done well, 3.6% higher. But look at the broader markets. You have both the mid-cap and the small-cap indices gaining anywhere between 5 to 6%. And that's where the real action is, because that's the index move. Individual stocks have seen much bigger moves. Now, on individual important levels on the Nifty yesterday, the day's low coincided brilliantly with the 50-day moving average. 24580 was the day's low yesterday. The 50-day moving average 24520. On the way up, the 100-day moving average seemed like a bit of a supply zone for the market. So 24708 was the 100-day moving average. The day's high of the Nifty very close to that itself. What's good is that the FIIs are buying in the cash market. This month so far, there have been 6 sessions in which 4 of them have been buy sessions for FIIs itself after a big selling. So in the last 5 sessions itself, they've bought around 12,658 odd crores on a net basis. And not just that, they're buying in index futures as well. Yesterday, the net buy was just about 215 crores, but that doesn't tell you the overall story. The overall story is from the start of the series, November 28th, where you look at it, the Nifty net contracts were negative 1.18 lakh with 33% long exposure. That's now come down to around 37,000 contracts itself with long exposure coming in at 45%. Where does the market go from here? Some consolidation is expected in a range, 24,700 call premium of 100 rupees, 24,600 put premium of 150 rupees, telling you 24,500 to 24,800 is the broad range that everyone's looking at. What are the stocks we're looking at? A lot of short positions added on Godrej Consumer yesterday and a lot of long positions added on some jewelers. So Kalyan Jewelers, the latest entrant in the F&O space, doing extremely well, seeing some bit of long positions being built.
Shining bright are these jewelry stocks, aren't they? Mangalam, thanks a lot for that. Well, time for a short break. Up next, the big announcement from last evening. Revenue Secretary Sanjay Malhotra will replace Shaktikanta as the new governor of the Reserve Bank of India. More on this on the other side. Stay tuned.